They told us marriage means forever. They sold us a dream dressed in white, gold rings, vows, fairy tales, and that picture-perfect life. They told us it was the ultimate goal, something sacred, something eternal. But no one warned us about the silence that comes years later, about the love that slowly dies behind closed doors. They didn't mention the nights spent pretending, the fights hidden behind Instagram smiles. They didn't say that forever could turn into fucking leave me alone. Now, marriage isn't a sanctuary, it's a battlefield waiting to explode. Rings don't symbolize unity anymore. They mark the countdown to conflict. You drop them on the table not out of respect, but because they've become too heavy to carry. And the word divorce? It's not a failure anymore. It's expected. It's the price you pay for believing in something that never had a damn chance. You walk into it with dreams. You walk out with papers, debt, and scars. And what do you have to show for it? An empty apartment, a lawyer's invoice, and a heart that doesn't even beat the same. Behind the flowers, the ceremonies, the posts, is silence, emotional distance. Two people who used to be lovers, now roommates. Separate sides of the bed feel like different planets. You talk less, feel less, love less, until you feel nothing at all. The same hands that held you tight on your wedding night now scroll past your pain or type out cold legal threats. Till death do us part becomes until I'm done pretending. And you realize this wasn't love. It was a performance. Divorce doesn't come crashing in. It creeps in slowly, through resentment, disconnection, betrayal. And when it hits, it's a fucking war. Courtrooms filled with bitterness. Kids used like weapons. Dreams torn in legal language. And all the while the world still expects you to smile and pretend it's normal. But millions aren't pretending anymore. They're done with the fantasy, done with the pain, done risking everything for something that ends in broken promises. This isn't fear, it's survival. Marriage in 2025, it's not forever, it's a gamble. And some people just aren't willing to play that game anymore. Look around you. Every second person you know has watched a marriage crash and burn. Maybe it was their parents, maybe it was their own, maybe it was yours. The numbers don't lie. Divorce rates sit between 40 and 50% in most countries. And that's just the ones who file the paperwork. The rest, they stay stuck, emotionally dead, living like strangers under the same roof. Headlines scream what no one wants to admit. Divorce rates surge post-pandemic. Why Gen Z says no to marriage. And the truth is hard to swallow. People aren't afraid of love. They're afraid of what love turns into. Screaming matches, custody battles, betrayal behind phones and locked screens. Relationships that started with passion now end with silence and blocked contacts. We've seen too much pain dressed up as romance, too many broken homes wrapped in wedding photos. So now, a whole generation is stepping back and asking the question no one dared to ask before. Why even try? Why step into something when the exit is inevitable? Why gamble your soul for a 50-50 shot at survival? It's not bitterness, it's protection. And in 2025, the fear is fucking real. Divorce isn't just a breakup, it's a full-scale emotional war. It's not two people walking away, it's two people tearing everything apart. Dreams, memories, homes, all thrown into the fire just to see who gets to keep the ashes. You think you're ending a chapter, but really, you're stepping onto a battlefield. One minute you're in love, the next you're in court. Lawyers speak for the people who once said I do. Custody fights turn kids into collateral damage. One parent weaponizes love while the other tries to survive the system. Bank accounts bleed, savings vanish. Therapy becomes survival, not healing. You lose more than money. You lose years of your life, your peace, your sense of safety. You wake up in an empty apartment where laughter used to live. Silence isn't peaceful anymore, it's loud and cruel. You look at old photos and wonder who the fuck that couple even was. And the worst part? No one really sees the pain. They only see the breakup announcement or the changed relationship status. But behind the screen is a person drowning in memories they didn't ask to keep. Because divorce doesn't just break love. It breaks people, and for some they never really come back from it. They survive it, sure, but they don't live the same afterward. Something inside them dies, a light, a hope, a belief in forever. They carry the weight of betrayal like a scar under their skin. They laugh less, trust less, and love becomes something they fear instead of something they seek. You see them scrolling through legal papers at midnight, not crying, just numb. A woman staring at custody terms like they're prison sentences. A man sitting on the floor of a place he used to call home, now surrounded by nothing but echoes and regrets. And it doesn't matter who left who. In the end, both lose something they'll never get back. Some people stop believing in love altogether, not because they don't want it, but because the cost is too damn high. They'd rather protect their heart than roll the dice again. They'd rather be alone than broken. In 2025, love feels like a gamble. And marriage? That's the casino that always wins. The house always wins, and you're left with pieces you didn't even realize could break. That's not just heartbreak. That's trauma dressed in wedding clothes. There's a shift happening. Quiet, subtle, but powerful as hell. People aren't giving up on love. They're just walking away from the version that left them shattered. We're not anti-commitment. We're just anti-bullshit. We've watched too many forevers fall apart in front of us. We've seen marriages turn from love stories into war zones. So now, a lot of people are choosing differently, choosing peace over promises, freedom over forced smiles, healing over holding on to something toxic. You hear it everywhere now. I'd rather be alone than broken, and love without paperwork is safer. And honestly, they're not wrong. Being single doesn't mean being lonely. It means protecting your energy. It means building your own peace instead of inheriting someone else's chaos. You see it in the people traveling solo, building businesses, surrounding themselves with friends who lift them, not lovers who drain them. These people aren't cold. They're cautious, not bitter, just awake. They've watched what marriage can do when it's built on shaky ground, and they refuse to repeat that cycle. They're rewriting the definition of love, not through contracts but through choice, through clarity, through control over their own damn lives. This generation is done pretending that marriage equals happiness, because they've lived the opposite. They've seen the couples who looked perfect in photos but were dying behind closed doors. They've watched strong women lose themselves in toxic partnerships, men crumble under emotional manipulation masked as love. So now they're opting out, not because they don't believe in love, but because they believe in themselves more. They're choosing boundaries instead of blind devotion, growth over guilt. And you know what? That terrifies the traditional world. Because people who don't need marriage to feel whole, they're unstoppable. They don't chase. They don't settle. They don't tolerate emotional crumbs from people who haven't healed. And yes, they still fall in love. But it's real, raw, and on their terms. No paper, no pressure, no pretending. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of signing your life away for something that might just bleed you dry? So yeah, we're not afraid of love. We're afraid of becoming someone we don't recognize just to keep it. And in 2025, that's not cowardice. That's power. Not all marriages fail. Some people do make it through the chaos. They fight, they grow, they stay, and they find something worth holding on to. And that's beautiful. That's rare. That's real. But the truth? Enough of them collapse to make the rest of us question everything. Enough stories end in silence, betrayal, and courtrooms to make us wonder if the risk is even worth it. We're not saying love doesn't exist. We're saying love gets lost in the system, in the pressure, in the paperwork. When love turns into a legal contract, it stops feeling like love. It starts feeling like a transaction, like a deal with too many terms and not enough trust. And when you've seen love die like that, slow, quiet, suffocating, you don't forget it. You carry it with you, and it makes you cautious. It makes you question whether a signature can ever guarantee sincerity. So yeah, we know some marriages work, but too many don't. And that's why so many are choosing to love without the ring, the contract, the cage. They'd rather protect something fragile than force it into a box where it might suffocate. That's not fear, that's wisdom. If you've chosen not to marry, don't let society shame you. Don't let outdated traditions define your worth. It's not fear holding you back. It's wisdom. It's clarity. It's knowing your peace is worth more than any ring. In 2025, love isn't proven by a contract. It's proven by how you protect your heart. And sometimes, The strongest move you can make is walking away from the pressure to settle. So walk proud, walk free, and walk true to yourself, because your life doesn't need validation from anyone, especially not from a system that forgets how to love you back.